Can it get more nuanced than the wonderful Mr. Vasudeva who's sitting in front of us? Sahil, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man. And I just had a big deja vu moment because I imagined myself driving in my car 15 years ago, listening to you, and finally get to meet you. So thanks for having me and putting a voice, face to the legend.
Giving such respect to dinosaurs is absolutely wonderful, man.
Hey, no, man.
It means a whole lot to us. I've been following your music for a very long time. Since the time when people have started to talk about this young man who's tickling the ivories like he's a wizard and all of that. And now, of course, it's a solitary pursuit, is it not? Does it get a little, a little disconcerting sitting only with the sound of the piano?
I mean, yeah, that is a big part of it. I mean, a lot of times you're like practicing one note for hours endlessly.
Yeah.
And then you play this piece and then you turn around and you look around the room and there's no one. And a lot of times you're wondering, who am I doing this for?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the main thing is that you're first doing it for your own soul. And only then can it transfer. So,
and I think people forget that being creative not easy, man. Being creative is not
It is
easy.
a really lonely, very challenging, and especially playing the piano in a country like India, earlier you would have, like, I would go to concerts and people would touch the piano because so a lot of times that's the first time they've even seen the instrument.
That's true.
So, forget if you're trying to play classical piano or, where to go with it. It's a long, very tiring, exhausting, challenging journey and you have to just mentally hang in there.
Absolutely. And I think to answer the question about who's listening, I think at Lollapalooza, there's going to be a lot of people listening.
Right.
So what have you planned for them?
So, first, I think big up to Lollapalooza for including me on this lineup. I mean, I was quite surprised initially because, my music is quite different than the regular festival, the lineup that they have.
Absolutely.
But I'm obviously, it's not going to be just piano. And there's a lot of my music has anyways now moved into a zone where I have electronic elements, sound design elements, synthesizers, piano, there's a harmonium, and I'm also collaborating with some really interesting people, so it's just not going to be music. A lot of my unreleased music from my debut album will actually be performed at Lollapalooza, so I'm really excited about it.
Fantastic. You're going to give us a little taste of what that sounds like. What are you going to do for us?
For sure. I'll give you some teasers. It's all unreleased, so I'll give you small little tinglings on.
We're very, very happy that Sahil, your nuanced, educated music is to say... That is not to say that our music is not educated, but your nuanced, educated music and considered sounds are getting a platform as big as Lolla, which is wonderful. And that's why I think you've also decided that you're not going to keep it only to sound. You're actually going to be titillating a few more senses. Yes, so which is why we have Tariq with us. You want to tell us a little about this collaboration?
Yeah. So hi, I'm Tariq, and I'm Sahil's brother. And that's one of the primary reasons I'm involved in this show. I got a free pass to this.
Man, that's brilliant. Yeah,
so that was the main reason to come for this.
It's all in the genes and not the one on the legs.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, bad joke.
And also to get backstage access. So I also get to meet Green Day folks, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Billy Joe, baby.
Nostalgia big time.
But apart from that, I think that it's amazing that Lollapalooza has picked piano as sort of like the central instrument in one of their acts. And I think as an artist, because the piano has been like one of these instruments that's been around forever. I mean, it's considered in some cases the mother of all instruments.
Absolutely.
So I think it's amazing that Sahil's music, which has so much piano, but also other elements of sound design.
Sure.
Very contemporary, so it's not really classical, it's both.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a new sound.
And that's the interesting bit about the piano, that the sounds are very visual. I mean, I've not known too many people who've actually been into listening to the piano and truly being fans who do not conjure up images. Right. And that's quite literally the job that you're doing with Lolla. So you want to tell us a little about that?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that music on its own is very powerful. But I think when you try to like add other elements and other art forms into it, as the visual medium is concerned, I think you can have a very stunning show. And that's what we're hoping to provide, is a show that combines visual projections. It has a pretty fantastic set design, and then it also has some elements of theater, film as well. So we've actually shot some film, which we're going to also use in the projections. And overall, we're also using.
With Shivani.
Yeah, we're collaborating with a very well-known Kathak dancer.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
But she is now not necessarily going to follow Kathak in this.
Sure.
Because again, we're trying to find a new form or a new language. So, to kind of give like some kind of a collaborative feel to a new type of dance, which Shivani is going to create to the music. And we're going to infuse that with the theatrical elements.
Right.
Some spoken word. Like I said, even in the film elements, there will be some spoken word. So we're trying to like find some way to provide a full show.
Wonderful.
So it's not really just, isolated to just the music. Although the music is the central figure.
Sure.
And it's quite overpowering because Sahil's music has that quality.
Absolutely.
It's very atmospheric.
Yeah, for sure.
So, to keep in line with the atmospheric music, we've added these elements to just widen the atmosphere.
Absolutely, and you don't have to take Tariq's word for it just because he's Sahil's
No, and also
brother.
to
I mean,
sort of
well,
break the myth on the idea that it's not classical piano that is going to be performed there. And you were mentioning like nuanced earlier. In fact, my idea is to make it as accessible as possible
course.
and as cinematic as possible.
Sure.
And adding these other elements.
Yeah.
And anyways, we can't look at music or any other art forms in isolation. They're all interconnected eventually. We're all trying to tell the human story at the end of the day.
And as Ruskin Bond said, being simple is the most difficult thing as far as writing is concerned. And I'm assuming that's true for music as well. But as you said, virtuosity does not necessarily need to be esoteric. It can be accessible as well. And you don't need to take Tariq's word or Sahil's word or my word for it. You just have to listen to the music, which is what Sahil, I'm assuming, is going
and
to play.
Tariq has come up with like a really brilliant concept. I don't know why he hasn't shared it yet.
Well, no, I was about to.
Yeah.
But
Tariq is a filmmaker, he's an actor, so
Excellent.
he brings that all his experience into that to directing the show. We have Shivani Verma dancing, and we have a new entrant, Akshay Dwivedi, also on upright bass.
Brilliant.
So, and we have a huge set also, an installation that we've
Fantastic. Third edition of Lollapalooza India on the 8th and the 9th of March in Mumbai. It's going to be 4 stages. It's going to be 2 days. It's going to be Green Day. It's going to be Louis Tomlinson. It's going to be Louis Tomlinson. I always get confused between Louis Armstrong and anyone else who's Louis or Louis. But there's only one Louis Armstrong. Louis Tomlinson. There's going to be Glass Animals. There's going to be Hanuman Kind. There's going to be Dot. Raftar is going to be there. And then there's Sahil Vasudeva as well. You want to tell us a little about the concept, Tariq, about what you're going to be doing?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, I think that we've been inspired by trying to take Sahil's music to a form that has other elements. So like Pink Floyd, for example, has always used a lot of different elements in their live performances. So we are exploring essentially a very critically important subject that everybody's in tune with these days, which is AI.
How wonderful.
Yes.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
And I think, this kind of mix of music, atmospheric music, and a sort of commentary or a discussion or an exploration on what's going on with AI and in general in terms of technology and robots and the idea that we're looking at a future that's coming pretty soon, much sooner than we may imagine. But of course, that's always a betting game. We don't know exactly how soon, what technology, what kind of AI and robots are going to be functional in society. And I think music has this overpowering sensual quality.
Absolutely.
And so that what happens when you have technology, which is a very sort of hard, structured, metal-based element, in the form of a robot. And what does that do even in terms of the mind of the robot, which is all technology? And then what is music? What kind of role will music play in a society that has this clash between a hardened metal structure and the idea of technology, which is data based, code based.
Sahil, technology is always a double-edged sword. I mean, listen to Kinara and you know what analog sound can do as far as emotions are concerned. And this is a very, as you said, hard-nosed, between the ears, brain thing. Was there a level of discomfort using technology for your music, even if it be to sort of, enhance the feel of it? Was there a second thought?
No. In fact, over the last few years, I have already sort of, how should I say it, moved into more the cinematic presentation of music. So I'm very into like synthesizers, using a lot of digital plugins. In fact, in the show, I processed a lot of piano sounds.
Okay.
So you will hear everything. Like I've made piano sounds from the percussive sounds from the pedal, from the hammers inside, then playing with the fabric materials.
Yeah.
Like, there's like plastic, there's metal sounds, there's rubber, leather. All these sort of sounds which have been obviously digitally processed.
Sure.
But all the sounds, actually, which is an interesting part of the music, is actually processed from the piano.
Oh, wow.
So my idea is that even the percussion or even the sound design elements you're going to hear is all processed from the piano itself. So exploring the entire, because piano is a really versatile instrument.
Absolutely.
It can be bowed, it can be, because it's a percussive instrument, it's a bow instrument, it's everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm fully into that. A lot of people I'm inspired by also are...
Fantastic. What is your day? 8th or 9th? 8th of March. First day.
4 p.m.
4 p.m.
Collaborating with Tariq Vasudeva, Shivani Verma, featuring Akshay Dwivedi on upright bass. We're going to be playing on the 8th of March at 4 p.m. There's going to be piano, there's going to be electronic elements, there's going to be sound design elements, there's going to be a harmonium, there's going to be huge art installation, there are going to be visuals, there's going to be theater, there's going to be dance. I mean, aur kya chahiye yaar? Just come, just show up. There's nothing more we can offer.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, it's going to be an experience. That much I can guarantee you. And it's going to be an experience you haven't seen before. And it's a complete modern take on the piano, on theater, on design. It's got everything, man.
Absolutely.
Full.
And you should not miss it. LollaIndia.com is where you go to check that out. Sahil Vasudeva, Tariq Vasudeva, this has been absolutely wonderful. Cannot wait for your performance. I'm sure it's going to be a smashing one in the nicest way possible. Thank you very much for your time and looking forward to this.
Thanks for having us.
If you want
Thank you so much.
94.3 Radio 1.